Well, I was afraid of the subject of Laura, and I didn't know how that would go, and
I know exactly what you mean. I didn't call because I'd been so worried about Laura. I was afraid it would turn into an unhappy conversation.
Yeah, well, if it has to do with Luke and Laura, I don't think the answers are going to be very easy coming, do you?
No. No, I keep talking to myself about it over and over and over, and I don't know what to think. It won't be easy. You are worried about her, aren't you?
Of course I'm worried about her.
You know, she could get herself into terrible trouble rushing off into the unknown like this.
Lesley, I don't like it any better than you do. Probably less.
And there's nothing we can do about it, right?
I don't think so. She's made up her mind. How are we going to change that?
What happens if she doesn't find him?
Maybe Luke has that statue, and he's about 1,000,000 miles away from here.
You know what that means, don't you? She's just going to travel 1,000,000 miles further looking for him.
Is there anything I can do for you, sir?
No, thank you. Unless you can make the phone ring and get me a call from Luke Spencer. That's all I want.
He does tend to get up one's nose a little, doesn't he?
Oh, Scorpio, I didn't expect to see you here today.
Well, I hope you don't mind. I couldn't help overhearing. How are you, Albert?
Fine, thank you, sir. Would you like a cup of coffee?
Not at the moment, thank you. Well, any word?
No, what about you?
Nothing since the telegram.
I just wished I knew what he was trying to do.
Has it ever occurred to you that he may already have done it?
Scorpio, I am not in the mood for any riddles.
Sorry, just a thought.
About what?
Well, I mean, if you're a little on edge.
I am not on edge.
Well, it probably means nothing. I'm just thinking out loud.
Well, in that case, it's probably far more important than you leading me to believe. What is it?
All right. Let's take Luke Spencer. Knowing and understanding the individual he is, he's already had us sitting around making plans and talking amongst one another. He could well be out of the country by now, with the Ice Princess disguised as a brandy bottle.
Oh, nonsense.
You think so? I thought so at first, too. Maybe that's what it takes, you know? A rank amateur who manages to stay one step ahead of the professionals.
Don't be absurd. I mean, you give him too much credit.
You think so? Look what he's managed to do so far.
Well, he has been lucky, that's all.
I'm beginning to think that there's a little bit more to it than luck.
Well, there's also a great deal of greed, and that drives people like Luke Spencer. Someday, sooner or later, he's going to be careless.
He hasn't botched it so far.
This conversation is going to bore me. I know that my men will not let him escape. They're the best in this business. Chemo, good Lord.
Oh, man, you look absolutely terrible. What have you been doing? You've been working too hard, old son. This boat life just simply doesn't suit you. Listen, get out in the town, see the masses. Go to a kung fu movie.
Yeah, I was on duty the night of that big accident. Bad scene, boy, bad scene.
Yeah, I'll just bet it was.
You know, no matter how many things you see as a cop, something like that still tears you apart. Seems like such a waste.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. That was some night. Hey, you want half a liverwurst?
No, thanks.
You know, I keep telling the wife that liverwurst is not the best thing for you. 3 times this week I got it. Now, you can't have roast beef every day.
No, you can't. About that accident.
I'll tell you something. Those doctors and that nurse did some job. Hear about the citations they got?
Yeah.
They deserved them, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's, about that nurse.
Funny thing, yeah. I read in the paper that she didn't show up at the ceremony to pick up her plaque.
Did you get a good look at her?
Good look? What do you mean?
Do you think you could recognize her again?
Oh, gee, I don't know about that.
Well, could you pick her out of a crowd?
It's hard to say. I mean, she had a cap on and a cape, and it was pretty dark out there.
Well, do you remember what she looked like?
I really can't say.
Did you see her?
Listen, buddy, I mean, it was a pretty tense situation. In something like that, everybody's so busy doing what they have to do that the last thing you care about is looks.
769, calling 769.
Whoops, that's me. 769, yeah.
I'm Martin, your wife called. She wants you to stop at the butcher's on the way home. Lamb chop, she said. I didn't think anybody could afford lamb these days.
Okay, okay. Is that all?
Yep.
Good. I'd like to finish my lunch, huh?
Pretty late, isn't it? Save your appetite for Mary's dinner. Over and out.
Sorry about that. She's a good woman, but she forgets sometimes.
Oh, yeah, well, we all do.
I don't know. She's a great gal, but sometimes I wonder.
Speaking about forgetting, I think I'm forgetting it. You, by any chance, weren't the man that helped Shelley Vernon change the tire on her car the other night?
Oh, no, no. But my partner did.
Oh, did he? I would like to talk to that man about that.
No, no problem. Oh, you can't do it today, though. He's on sick leave. Harry Gregg's the name.
Greg?
Yeah. Fine guy. Little green around the edges, though, if you know what I mean.
No, I'm not sure I do.
Well, he sort of takes things pretty seriously, you know. Very steady fella. But I sure got a kick out of him when he told me about changing that tire.
Really? What happened?
Well, he got so carried away. Hey, listen, I don't want you to get any wrong ideas or anything.
Oh, about Greg, you mean?
No, 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 about what I'm going to tell you. I mean, I am a married man and all, you know.
Well, yeah, I know. I mean, marrying
Well,
the lamb chops.
That doesn't stop guys from talking, you know.
Well, come on, we all do.
Well, Greg kept going on about this gal, you know, so I asked her what she looked like.
Yeah.
You know, just curious.
What do you have to say?
Said she was a real looker.
Did he now?
Then he turns into a poet. I mean, she was really good looking, according to him.
That's what he said, huh?
Yeah, 10 different ways, buddy. I'll tell you. That was something.
Do you think, this might have been the girl at the accident, the nurse you saw there?
Let's see. Yeah, it might be. You know, looking at this, I really can't say. Not for sure, anyway. Well, Mac, I gotta get back to work. Yeah, I hope I've been helpful.
Yeah. Yeah, you have. Been real helpful. Unfortunately.
769, checking in.
Well, it's good to see you again, Miss Quartermain.
Scorpio.
Well, what are you doing on this fine day?
And just what are you doing here on this fine day?
I can see you're in a spot of distress, love, and you know how I hate to see women in distress.
I'll try one more time. What are you doing here?
I never could fool you. Well, I'll level with you. Now, you know that I haven't come here to visit you, right? So the actual thing is that having 20/20 vision, I noticed that little Laura isn't here.
Brilliant deduction.
Would you be looking for it too, by any chance?
Would you mind getting out?
Alex, look, what I think you need now is a drink. I know this one...
Robert.
Of course. You're not thirsty. I mean, after all, that large dinner you had last night with Luke Spencer. Incidentally...
Would you please get out?
Well, Alex, look, at least if you did come for a drink with me, I mean, I wouldn't get up and walk out on you like that guy did. Incidentally, who got stuck with the check that night?
You know, your sense of humor is as bad as your sense of timing was last night. If you'd have gotten there 5 minutes early, you could have paid the check.
Well, rest assured, if I'd have known that that shameless slob was going to leave you there in the lurch, I'd have made that little bit extra effort.
You know, you really are a stupid fool.
Oh, such a vicious comment from such a lovely mouth.
There are a lot of vicious comments that come out of this lovely mouth where you're concerned.
I hate to say this, Alex, but I think that your rotten disposition is in part due to a low blood count. Maybe the Ice Princess is getting a bit too rich for you.
Nothing's too rich for my blood. You ought to learn that by now.
You really sure about that?
Quite sure. Now, if you don't get out of here in 2 minutes, I'm going to call the police.
Oh, you wouldn't do that.
No, wouldn't I? Just try me. As a matter of fact, I'm sure they'd like to see you. After all, we did spend half the afternoon yesterday debugging the phones that you planted.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You know exactly what I'm talking about, and don't play dumb.
Alex, I don't know who tapped your phones.
Stop playing me for a fool, Robert.
You know I wouldn't do that. I didn't tap your telephones. But if I was you, I'd start thinking about who did.
Dino's restaurant. Yes, good. Who am I speaking to, please? Ah, the maitre d'. Splendid. You're exactly the person I'd like to speak to. My name is Marvin Rumsley. Perhaps you've heard of me. No? Oh, well, I'm surprised. You see, I'm the gourmet guide for the new television station in the area. Yes. Well, you see, I'd like to do a review of your restaurant for our viewers. Well, no, that isn't how it works. You see, I bring the cameras in later. First, I have to come in and review the restaurant myself. Well, of course. I'd like to do that soon. I know how, you know, how good publicity would be over our station for you. I understand that your scallopini is scrumptious. Oh? And what is the specialty? Linguine del Dino. I look forward to it. With a ready palate. Yes. That's good. Then I'd like to make a reservation for tonight. For dinner at 8 o'clock. Can you accommodate me? Good. That will be for 2, of course. Oh, and of course a nice antipasto to begin. Great. Oh, one more thing. I'd like to be seated as close to the kitchen door as possible. Well, that's because I like my food to come to the table just as soon as it's prepared. You understand, of course. Splendid, splendid. You can arrange that? Great. And of course, your best bottle of Chianti Classico. Ciao.
Waiting for a phone call, Alex.
I thought I told you to leave.
I hoped you might have forgotten.
I haven't. Get out.
You appear to be in a rather unrested state at the moment. Whatever it is really got you very up, darling.
Now, just what do I have to do to get you out?
Oh, all right. Okay, I know when I'm imposing on someone. I don't need to be hit by a tank to know when I'm not wanted. There was something I wanted to tell you, though. What was it? A simple little thing. Ah, I know. I'm having dinner with a mutual friend of ours tonight.
Oh, you've heard from Luke?
That's news to you.
What exactly did he say?
Well, nothing yet, but, you know, it was the usual thing, a phone call, telegram, dinner invitation. But nothing else. You have taught him a sense of style.
Something of which you lack intensely.
Oh, darling, that was meant to be a compliment. What did I do to deserve that?
I know, why don't we just stop with the adolescent games and tell me exactly what he said?
Okay, quite simply. It would appear that he has something to sell. I have no idea what. But whatever you offered him for it was unacceptable. Does that sort of ring a bell?
Well, if you think he turned me down, you're wrong.
It's not the impression I got.
He didn't turn me down. He just merely put me on hold.
You really are something else, you know that?
So I've been told.
I have an enormous depth of admiration for you, Alex. But I don't know why you can't face reality in this particular situation. I've leveled with you. I've told you about the telegram, about the phone call, the dinner invitation. Cassidy, no doubt, is expecting the same advances. Tell me what you offered him that he found so unacceptable, so that I might be able to come through. What else does he want, darling?
You know, I had forgotten how amusing you can be. Why do you think I would do a favor for you or Cassidy?
I don't think you find this situation amusing at all. You're in a corner and you don't know how to get out of it.
I don't get cornered.
I think you're in one this time. And remember, whatever you decide to bid, Cassidy and I can outbid you.
I wouldn't be too sure about that if I were you.
Unless, of course, unless, but no, unless you have something else up your sleeve. That's it, isn't it, eh?
That's none of your damn business.
You do have something up your sleeve, don't you, eh?
Take your hand off me. Now, if you think I'm out of this race, you better think twice, sweetheart. Besides, have you forgotten what you once told me? That I was the most clever woman you'd ever laid eyes on.
Oh, yeah, I remember that night. Slip of the tongue. I'd have said anything then. But, yeah, you're clever. Rat cunning, more like it. But all the rat cunning and clever isn't going to do you a single bit of good this time, Alex. You've blown it, kid. Incidentally, are you sure that Luke has the ice princess?
Would you get out?